What's up, guys? It's Caleb H, and today I'll be showing you my Argonian Magic Dragon Knight. Here are the stats. This is unbuffed. We are running in Cyrodiil. You will have 24.7k. That's pretty good in my opinion. Max Magic's gonna be around 32k. Give or take if you choose to do what I done with the rings, but max stamina 12.4k. I don't think you could get too much more with the set we're running, but if you can, good luck. 12.4k has been pretty decent for me, with reduced block costs and everything you'll see in the video. Magic recovery 1442. I think that's a decent amount of magic recovery. It can go either way. It can go good or bad, but we are running certain things that will help, and you will see it in the video. 49.4% spell critical. I believe that that's a really good number. Our sets help it, and some skills that we have help it. 19.1 spell and 14k physical resistance. Pretty decent numbers, buffed up. 24 and 19. So I think that's a decent amount, especially with your reduced block cost on 3 or 4 of your items. Critical resistance 2134. I think that's a decent number. Just try to stay above 2k. Anything below that, it's gank territory. We were running Witch Mother's Potent Brew. We are running the Apprentice, and we are stage 4 Vampire. These are big 3 things. You don't really have to go with the Vampire, and maybe you shouldn't, depending on how new you are at the game. You take 25% more damage from fire. You will get hurt from Dawnbreaker. It hasn't really affected me, so maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. Let's go ahead and get to the sets. Alright, we're running 5-piece Innate Axiom. You want Nirnhorn, and I use a Crusher enchantment. This when you are on people and you're tapping them with this as much as you can. I do it. I know everybody else does it. This will really help you out, especially our champion point placement. I think I set it up very good. So I definitely give this a try. Definitely make your sword gold. It will raise your weapon, or it will raise your spell and weapon damage up a lot, especially with the Nirnhorn trait. Let's go down. We're using a Inferno Staff. It doesn't really matter what Inferno Staff. We're gonna kind of use it as a buff bar. So we went with a Shackle Breaker Inferno Staff. Doesn't really matter what you put there, but you will use this as a buff bar, and you do have to have a Inferno Staff, Ice Staff. So try that. Grothar, we're using 2-piece Grothar. I think this is the best set that you could go with as far as damage per second to your enemies. I mean, it's always around you, as you'll see in some of my past videos and some of my future videos. This is what I run pretty much, and it's always around me. It applies more pressure. You will really like Grothar. We're running a 5 light and 2 heavy. You're gonna want the heavy pieces on the chest and the legs. That's gonna give you the most resistances. The thing about the Innate Axiom set, it was bugged, and I've tested it out just to make sure. I've read stuff online. It's a great set. Adds 400 spell and weapon damage to your class abilities. As you'll see, we're using all class abilities but 2, and these are just buffs, so they won't really matter. So let's get back and let's go down. The second set we're running is Burning Spellweave. This is a huge damage set. adds 124 spell damage. That's big. And then the big damage buff, it'll proc pretty much all the time. You'll love this set, and I really would not take this set off. If I had anything to do about it, I would not take this set off. It's great. The reason for this set, we're using mostly flame damage abilities. You have a 15% chance to apply the burning status effect, and as you can see in our skills, one of our passives gives you another 50% extra damage to burning and poison. So that's a huge set. I would definitely use the burning spell weave. Let's go. Increases your spell damage by 507. The reason it's 507 and not more is because I'm running 3 blue jewelry. I recommend, if you could, it's very expensive, but I recommend changing them at least purple. I will get to that as soon as I get enough money. We are running 1 ring that is arcane with a magic recovery enchantment, and the next 2 you're gonna want to run infused. It's very easy to get infused. All you have to do is buy the trait, or either research one that's already got a trait on it, and you would want a max spell damage enchantment on this. If you get it purple, it's 262 spell damage, I believe, and gold is a little bit more than that. So all this will raise your damage a lot. I definitely recommend making it purple or gold. So we're gonna skip all that and go to our skills. Alright, this is gonna be our front bar, our sword and shield. I run deep breath. The reason I run this one other than the other one is this one sets them off balance, which gives you a heavier flame lash. It does a lot more damage, a lot more healing, so I definitely run that, and I try to keep it up as much as possible, especially getting Zerg down. 1vx situations, this ability is great. It keeps people off of you, and so does Grothdar, so I promise people will run from you. Cauterize, this is a great burst heal on top of your coagulating blood. Keep this on you at all times. Every 5 seconds out of 15 seconds you will heal for 5,053 health, and you will have Major Prophecy, increasing your spell critical rating by 2191. This is a great ability to have, and you can see our critical is decent. I definitely have that just slotted at least, and definitely try to keep it up if you can. Shattering Rocks, this is going to be our survivability if we need it. This is going to be our stun. This is our go-to. Encase an enemy in stone, stunning them for 3 seconds. So they're stunned, and then when they attack you, within 4 seconds it heals you for almost 6,500. So I mean, it's a great heal. I mean, it's overpowered, to be honest. So just definitely, whenever you see this pop up, I'd go ahead and hit it. It's a great ability, great for 1vx situations, and you'll learn to like that. Definitely keep it up. Coagulating blood, this is going to be our huge burst heal. We put champion points in blessed, and tried to put a little bit into healing received in the red tree. This is a huge heal. I mean, if you're low on health, it heals you for 6891 and increases by up to 33% based on your missing health. I mean, if you're low, hit this, and I mean, it's a huge heal. It really is, especially when you're blocking. I mean, nobody can hardly damage you, and you hit this, and it's a whole nother dude to kill. It also, I'd keep this up on you at all times. Also, increases your health recovery. Ferocious Leap, this is going to be our heal, our everything. I mean, this is going to be our huge damage, everything. 15,737 flame damage, that's decent. Buffed up, it's a lot more. You'll hit for around, on squishies, you'll hit 10-12k at least. On tanks, you'll hit about the same thing, considering that we're running a bunch of penetration. So, and you also gain a damage shield that absorbs 103% of your max health. In Cyrodiil, it's a little bit less, but you'll learn to love it. It's good. Back bar, Destro. Reason why we're running Destro is the Elemental Drain. Elemental Drain is a huge part of this build. We're not running too much Magic Recovery 1442, and honestly, it could go a little bit lower. I mean, this is actually kind of high for the way this build plays. This will do Major Breach for 21 seconds, increasing or reducing their spell resistance by 5280. That's big. And it also applies minor magic still, so when you're 1v1 with somebody, you won't run out of magic. There's no way. If you do, you're doing something wrong. You restore 300 magic every 1 second when damaging them. So that's big. Keep that up. Degeneration, we use degeneration other than the other one. I don't really care about the max health exactly, because we're definitely back barring this. We got too many good skills on the front bar and survivability and everything. So back bar this. This is huge to keep up. Also, this is going to be your major sorcery, increasing your spell damage. The reason I use this over molten armaments or whatever, this will give you a slight heal health every 1 second for 6 seconds, or every 6 seconds for 12 seconds. I'm sorry. And it also gives you a little bit of damage over time. Just something else to add on. It's awesome. Engulfing Flames is going to be a big damage buff. If you get it to stage 4 in this morph, it'll give you, make sure you get this morph, by the way. It will give you 10% more damage from all fire damage attacks. So I mean, you'll hit crazy numbers. Volatile Armor, this is another damage over time, and it pretty much damages them when they damage you. So I mean, I'd keep this up as much as possible. Alright, really, the Dragon Fire Scale, this is awesome. Flex your scales, reflecting up to 4 projectiles for 6 seconds. I mean, snipers, they can't do anything but kill themselves with this. It's deals actually 20% additional damage to the attacker. So this is huge. Keep this up as much as you can, especially when you're getting sniped from a wall. You can't do anything about it. Keep this up. They'll want to come down and attack you after they get hit with a few of them. Definitely keep that up. Let's go to champion points, and with this, we'll start with the green tree. We went 40 in Warlord. I just put 1 in Siphoner just because we're going to use a little bit of light and heavy attacks. So just, 1, 3, whatever you think, put them in there. 40 in Warlord, 75 Arcanist, 23 Tumbling, 72 Shadow Ward, and do not forget, I'm sorry I didn't mention this, I'm 633 champion points. It's up at 750 now. So whatever's left, do them accordingly to what you think would be the best. I'll kind of give you hints as we go along. I definitely would put at least 72 in Shadow Ward. We're going to do a lot of blocking since everything can be block casted. So 72 in Shadow Ward at least. I'd put more in Tumbling if you could, and I'd actually put 7 or so in Mooncalf, because you're going to want to keep your stamina recovery. And 19 Blessed, that's going to be a good number. Really anything less than that, your heals won't be too effective, especially with the Argonian. You'd think that your heals would be amazing. It's a lot better with 19 in it, I promise. I'd even go a little bit more if you could, but I wouldn't take any more out than 27. I wouldn't go any higher than 27. I've tried it. We're going to go 48 in Elfborn. We're going to do a lot of critical hits, so at least 18% in that's going to help. Probably more if you got more. 49 Elemental Expert. Try to get 56 if you could. I'd stay at 30 with Spell Erosion. We're using a lot of penetration. I wouldn't really worry about putting more than 30, maybe even less than that. I got 65 in Master at Arms. I'd like to get it to 72, so I'm still working on that. I'd put at least 72 in Master at Arms, and definitely 0 in Thaumaturge. We're not gonna paint a picture with Thaumaturge. It's a lost skill with this build. I would definitely go with 0 in Thaumaturge. Ironclad 51 at least. This is pretty much what the game's turned to. It's all direct damage. So at least 51 in Thaumaturge. You're gonna want to have at least 30 in resistant. That'll give us over 2,000. It should if you're using the right build. So we got 27 in Hardy, 23 in Elemental Defender. You can go up in both of these. I just definitely keep this one 1% ahead of this one, because you see as our resistances play, we have a lot more spell resistance than physical resistance. So and the reason I'm using Sword and Board is the extra 3 or 4k, whatever it is, spell and physical resistance, and I think that goes a long way. And especially we can block cast everything we have. That's a big part. And let's get back to it. Alright, 37 thick skinned. I think that's a decent number. You could go up in that. Maybe 17% would be better. I just don't have the champion points to do that right now. Quick recovery at least 43. This is a big part, especially playing in groups. When you're healed, you're fully healed. There's no undermining a heal. You're fully healed when you're healed, and especially by a Templar. I mean, you're fully healed. So 43 is a great number. Very hard to die with 43 and quick recovery, and 19 and bless. It's very hard to die. Definitely give it a try. If you don't like it, you can go down in it, or if you've been playing the game a lot longer than I have, try less. I think 43 is a great number, in my opinion. Alright, and we'll go by the passives just to make sure you got everything. Got to get a few more skill points for these two. I didn't think they were too much help, but I mean they will help if you have it. As you can see, I mean these are wolves, but you can see that the Grothdar, I mean it does help. So the Grothdar goes off all the time, by the way. Go through the skills. You're gonna want to have everything in this, and since we are a vampire, we are running vampire, the health recovery is not going to be a huge hit for this build. I would prefer use skill points than something else, really. Iron Skin, that's huge. We're going to be blocking a lot. All these are good. Make sure you have these. Definitely all these. Battle Roar, that's when you cast your ultimate. It pretty much gives you your whole health, stamina, magic bar back. I mean, it's great. Have it. One hand and shield. These two and these two are big. Make sure you have these. These are going to be reduced block and the amount of damage you can block. Have these. Destruction Staff, just make sure you have this skill. Nothing else really applies. Light armor, all passives. You're going to be wearing 5-piece light armor if you want to do this build. I think the 5-piece light is way better than the heavy. You're going to be hitting a lot harder. Your spell penetration will go up by 48-84. That's a huge number, especially with elemental drain. It goes up 50-80 more. I mean, you're going to be hitting tanks the same you do as low levels, so definitely have that. Spell critical's huge in this. If you want to run 5-1-1, you can. It really would not help too much, as long as you would. I mean, if you wanted to increase your movement speed a little bit or roll dodge a little bit, you could put, you know, your 2 attribute point or your 2 points in athletics, and it would help a little bit. But I recommend If you don't have the 10 and Undaunted or 9 and Undaunted, which increases your max health, stamina, and magic by 1% for each type of armor. If you don't have this, I would run the 5-2. 5 light, 5 or 2 heavy, definitely. As you can see, we got the first 3 that requires no 5-piece heavy. We got those maxed. Vampire, you just want to get supernatural recovery, undeath, and unnatural resistance, just so it's not negative. You don't want it negative. You'll be losing health all the time. Alright. Fighters Guild, you can put 3 and banish the wicked. I really don't have skill points to try that right now, but it's pretty cool because you get 3 ultimate when you kill undead, danger, or werewolf. There's a lot of werewolves, there's a lot of vampires in Cyrodiil, so you get 3 ultimate when you kill one, so that's decent. Mages Guild, Degeneration. If you have Magic Controller, I recommend those. This kind of really is a lost cause now. I would recommend it back in the last patch, but before the last patch, but now it's kind of useless since our light attacks are going to be weapon damage, and we're not running weapon damage, so kind of forget about that. But Magic Controller, it would be good. So we'll go down and Assault 2 support. This will increase your healing done. Have this when you are near a keep. Argonian skills, you want all these. These are awesome. We'll go ahead and look at them. Increase your max magic by 3%. The potion use is huge. If you drink a magic potion, you gain a lot of magic, so you'll want this. Increase your max health by 9%. That's a big part. Increase your healing done and received by 5%. That's a huge play to this build. It lets us put more into damage. If you wanted to be a dark elf, you really could for a little bit more damage, but having this lets us be tankier and have more damage, so I recommend having an Argonian. But yep, this was my Magic Dragon Knight build. Please share it, like it, comment what you didn't like, what you did like. This is my first commentary of a build, or actually anything. If there's any questions, inbox me. I think I showed everything. We're using Witch Mother's Potent Brew. This will give us our magic recovery. But yeah, definitely in Axiom and Burning Spell Weave. If you wanted to use a tank set, you could, but I wouldn't take off Burning Spell Weave. That's our huge proc. In Axiom, I love it. You may not like it, I love it. Thank you guys for watching. Actually, let me go ahead and buff up for you guys, and we'll go ahead and... Alright, 3477, so you're going to be running 3877 spell damage. That's really good. You're going to be running almost 4,000 spell damage buffed up, and I think that's well over enough, especially with Grothar going off. The reason I say 3877 is it adds 400 spell damage and weapon damage to your class abilities. So pretty much you're going to be running 3800, 3900 spell damage. So have fun with the build and good luck.